Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is a special edition. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is Anthony behind the glass, and it is the return of the Mac himself. The sauce is back in the building. Good morning to Kyle Kirms. How you been, buddy?
Things are good, man. Just prepping for kickoff, you know.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I mean, it's incredible how fast the preseason kind of moved through. And today specifically, like, we're going to get into some college football. And I said that to Gooch. Did I not say that to you last week? I was like, we don't have enough, not knowledge, because like we know stuff, but like there's not enough
coverage.
Yeah, I guess that's the right word I'm looking for.
We've been knee deep in the NFL, rightfully so. I'm definitely a bigger NFL guy than college guy, but the reason being is we don't really have the in-depth knowledge to give analytics and really give opinions on college football. So we brought in our buddy The Sauce, because The Sauce is Mr. College Football, and football season's about to kick off. It actually has kicked off for college, and that's what we were talking about. It's like a little alarming that we haven't even noticed.
I know. Well, I did watch the game. I watched the game from Ireland, Nebraska game. I did see the
free
game.
beer game.
It was, yeah. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
insanity. Like, get your shit together.
We don't have Wi-Fi either. Could we get free beer?
Yeah, seriously. Our Wi-Fi is terrible over here. Like, so we're definitely entitled to some Bud Light or Miller Light or whoever's not paying us enough.
I feel like the team owners or stadium owners or whoever are way too greedy and ambitious in the U.S. to give away free beer.
That's very true. So anyway, if you guys want to support the show, please do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. There's a $3, a $5, a $10 variation. That's how to do it. Obviously, the Break Buds are a very big contributor to that. And I know that, Chris, you've been trying to dive into some of your, or at least you'll do this going forward. You'll have some extra picks and stuff on the Patreon rather than just the normal.
I'm not going to give out all my picks on Fridays anymore because A, I think it's too far having 48 hours between making my picks and kickoff, and B, it's because I'm so good at picking that I'm going to give them away on Patreon for the paid subscribers. Now,
there you go.
Join the party. I'm going to give it a shot this year.
We are selling out, ladies and gentlemen.
Some fun. Sauce has been teaching me all his tricks. So
yeah, I mean, look, if you're going to learn from anybody, you learn from Kyle. I mean, he's very successful at what he does. So, I mean, obviously he might know a thing or two when it comes to handicapping games. So, you know, we got Kyle on board.
I've placed a bet or two in my day.
Yeah, just a couple. I mean, look, now you're living like McGregor and making it rain every morning. I'm surprised, actually, like when I tweeted it out at like 9:30 and you responded, I was like, oh, Kyle's up. That's cool. Like, I didn't know. It might have been a late night.
Kinda up.
All right. Anyway, before we get into the college football stuff, there is a lot to get into because the rundown yesterday was abysmal. The entire show yesterday was abysmal. I was just sitting there like, man, guy got shot. I can't hear Gooch. I'm going to pass out. It's time to leave. And I was like, the whole thing sucked. So the real rundown goes down back because the return of Gooch also in studio today. So, Gooch, what do we got, man?
All right. So tonight we got some good baseball, a possible NL championship preview with the Dodgers visiting the Mets. There's a big parking situation happening. That's irrelevant. Good baseball to be played. I'm excited about that series because, like I said, that's the two best teams in the NL, arguably two of the best teams in baseball. The Dodgers certainly are. Across town, the New York Yankees took another L last night, but I guess it was a small moral victory because Aaron Judge belted home run number 50.
Fabo.
It's looking like the season now is kind of shaping up to just be the season of Aaron Judge because we talked about it, Dave. They've had the worst record in the month of August since 2003.
Yes.
This Yankee team.
17. They lost 17
That's not looking like a
games
team that's contending
August
for a World Series title down the stretch. And I wonder, I don't know if there's anybody even remotely close besides, I guess, Shohei. Does the Yankees skid affect Aaron Judge's chances to win the MVP?
Well, he's still hitting 50 bombs.
I understand, but if there's one guy, if a guy could catch fire late, I guess you really can't give it to Shohei. They haven't won a game since April.
Well, they beat the Yankees.
Yeah, but they haven't won a game since April besides against the Yankees.
Okay. We're 0-4 in the last. Well, obviously we lost 4 in a row or whatever. It's like
Shohei
Oakland
is the guy,
and
though,
Anaheim.
You can't disparage Judge or take away any credit from Judge because they're on a skid while Shohei and the Angels haven't won a game besides yesterday.
I'd be hard pressed to say that the Yankees are even like still I mean, they got a 7-game lead, which is very scary. It's like 6th in the loss column now. So
Not
I think Dave is starting to take a turn for the worst here. As I was saying, everybody pump the brakes. Don't worry about it. The Yankees will be fine. No. Here I am now to tell you that September is going to be a bitch.
Take your foot off the brakes, step on the gas, and floor it, because the wheels have officially come off now for the Yankees. They're losing to really bad teams. When they play against a playoff team, it's going to be a different situation.
Yeah, and a couple squiggly lines later, you know.
Yeah. You see my notes? All right, so one more bit of baseball news. Mickey Mantle rookie card over the weekend was auctioned off for a record-shattering $12.6 million. This is the card that I talked about. I held this in my hand at the National, holding something that just sold for $12.5 million, 12.6. Kind of a cool experience.
You didn't want to just look. You're a fast kid.
Take off.
You could have made a break for it. I don't know.
No,
we could have been living on fucking Easy Street.
I would be in prison. That's like a level something felony. I'm not trying to deal with none of that. So, all right, enough baseball news. Check out the Break Buzz, throwing a little card memorabilia action. NBA action, NBA news. The New York Knicks extended RJ Barrett on a rookie contract extension, 4 years, worth up to 120, I believe it was. So good for the Knicks. Kyle, we talked about it in the pre a little bit, and you were like surprised that the Knicks actually gave out a contract to a team, of their current roster.
I wouldn't say surprised. It was more just saying like, wow, it happened. I strongly suspected that they would re-sign RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
It was just more like, wow, it actually happened.
So the ripple effect of that is initially everybody's saying, well, what does that mean for the Donovan Mitchell potential trade? As of now, the trade is still kind of loosely being kicked around. I would imagine that there's some dollar amounts that have to be figured out now with the new contract in place. But I feel like there was always a part of the plan to extend Barrett, even if you got Mitchell. So I don't think it changes much, really.
Well, see, as far as the Donovan Mitchell rumors go, if the Knicks were to make that deal, the downside would be that's it. Like this whole rebuild the Knicks have been going through for, you can argue for 2 decades, but in reality, like 3 years. It's over. That's our team. So if you get Mitchell and give Barrett that extension, that's our team. We can't add anybody else.
You're not going to add any draft. You're going to lose all your draft capital in that trade. So it's not like you're going to be able to add guys. The salaries aren't going to put you in a situation where you're going to sign free agents. So is Donovan Mitchell the guy that's going to put you over the top? I say absolutely not. And
I agree. I don't hate Mitchell, but I still, because RJ Barrett he just turned 22. Still 2-3 years away from his prime. I really would like to see the Knicks have another year where they're a fringe playoff team.
RJ Barrett a little bit more.
Yes, let him develop, and then maybe after next season we can sign a free agent, and that's our team. I think settling for Donovan Mitchell might be a little premature.
You think that's the right word to use? That's a settle for Donovan Mitchell at this point?
Yeah, I think. I think if you could take Donovan Mitchell and compare him to the potential free agents of the future, that it would be a settle.
I think Donovan Mitchell's a good player, but he's not a superstar in this league, and he's not going to put you over that playoff hump. He hasn't been able to get over the playoff hump out west. I know it's a little bit different, but there's kind of a shift in the balance of power in the NBA where I feel like the Eastern Conference, at the top of the conference at least, they have some major players. The Knicks, RJ Barrett, and Donovan Mitchell combination, I just think that's going to lack defensively, but I don't know.
I don't know. Interesting.
Time will tell.
All right. So enough with the Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Knicks talk. There's a new Sports Illustrated cover that's coming out, and it's featuring LeBron James and Bronny James. And they're going to do a mock of the Chosen One Sports Illustrated cover that LeBron donned the cover of way back when he was still in high school. I don't know, man. I think it's a bad look. I understand their reasoning for doing it, but LeBron was talking about regretting naming his son LeBron because it's something to live up to. And he doesn't know that it just feels like it's an unfair expectation. But then, 6 months later, he's doing
Dad, listen, I'm so sorry that you named me Dave. I don't know if I lived up to all the expectations, but I completely understand where LeBron is going through right now. My heart
really bleeds for the
he's the Gooch line.
Poor Bronny.
Yeah, poor Bronny. That's
poor
so
Bronny.
good.
He hasn't.
My favorite story from LeBron James Jr. was probably about 6 years ago. He said he didn't want to wear number 6 or number 23, whatever number his dad was at the time. He's like, I didn't want to wear that because I didn't want people to know who I was.
Yeah.
And there was someone put out a meme was like LeBron James Jr. Who's that? There was somebody.
That's good. That's good.
No relation, right?
Like number 29, that can't be. Like, who is that?
I wonder if the chosen one, when they said chosen one, they meant like the D League.
Like he got chosen, just
He's
not
chosen.
a matter of
I feel like he's got Jello ball written all over him. But we'll see. I mean, maybe he's got some time to materialize a little bit. But I don't think LeBron James Jr. is the prospect his dad was. So the chosen one might be a stretch. But moving on to the real sports here, NFL. A lot going on across the league in the NFL.
It's cutdown day, ladies and gentlemen. I got some serious beef happening right now within the Dallas Cowboys.
Quarterback
There's a lot of shit
Jimmy
going on.
G manages to stick around in San Francisco on a restructured deal. To me, I think this is the best contract in all of sports right now for Jimmy G. He gets to sit back. Well, I'm being a little facetious here, but Jimmy G gets to sit back and watch Trey Lance, and he gets paid about $5-6 million to do so. If for whatever reason something happens to Trey Lance or he's not living up to expectations, then Jimmy G gets about $1 million or $2 million per game to start. He can earn up to about 15 or 16 mil.
Yeah.
And he's in a situation where I think he will get some playing time. I don't think it's going to be a packages the way they use Trey Lance, but a long course of the NFL season, Jimmy G will probably earn around $8-10 million, and he plays on a good team. And after this season, he gets to go kick the tires on whoever might want to. The fact that he's got Jimmy G.
Yeah, the fact that he's got options now
I think
after
it's a
this
good
is
deal.
a very good deal for him.
And getting traded to a shithole place like Cleveland or somewhere like that where you know that you're just a stopgap, you're gonna have to deal with the same thing anyway. Why move? Why do all the bullshit? Restructure, stick around town, and then give it another crack next year. Lamar Jackson, there was a report going around that Lamar Jackson was offered $250 million guaranteed, and he turned down said offer. Lamar Jackson came out and basically shot that down in a much it was very like KD like the way he went about doing this. Going at anybody that tweeted about it. What was the one that you said, Dave?
Well, the fact that there was like he was actually responding to like the common folk, for a little while, like guys with like 8 followers.
That's what
and he, the one guy was like, "Man, I love Lamar Jackson, but he don't deserve blah 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 blah." And Lamar just tweeted back like, "You don't love Lamar.
Like you don't love Lamar."
He obviously
I don't know that Lamar
love me.
deserves $250 million guaranteed, but
It's
the scope
a lot
of
of
things,
money.
we've had this conversation at length, ad nauseum. Quarterbacks are going to get paid. Lamar's going to get every dollar that he wants, and people are going to be up in arms about it. But business as usual in the NFL, as far as I see it. Former MVP, give him the guy's money. More quarterback news. Tom Brady finally spoke out publicly about his hiatus.
He's going through some shit,
2-week hiatus, and this guy's 45 years old. Cut the motherfucker a break. He needed some time off to deal with his billionaire wife, who was probably bitching at him. He needed to make out with his son a little bit more in the Bahamas.
Dude, come on.
Weird across the board.
I think Brady should have done it in a satirical, joking way. Should have done the press conference and did a Iverson like practice.
Yeah,
practice.
He could have. That's a missed opportunity.
Brady should have just really like show what kind of power he has and been like, "Yo, I'm gonna take off weeks 1 and 2, but I'll be there Sundays for the game." Right?
Tampa Bay
Bucks would be like, "All right, fuck it."
Yeah, the Tampa Bay organization be like, "Thanks, Tom. Thanks for coming week 3."
For Tom, we appreciate you showing up, buddy. Kyle Trask, not so sure.
No, Trask looks like trash, by the way, just so we're all clear. I don't know if you're still on Tom Brady or whatever, but there are cuts happening right now. OJ Howard cut from the Bills. Once upon a time, we all thought he was actually going to be something. Looks like Kenyon Drake signed with the Ravens. They're a little light. They don't know the status of one J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. So Drake signs there. Preston Wilson from the Dolphins, he was also cut. So I tweeted Stephen Jones and I said, might be a
little breaking NFL action.
Wasn't he good last year, Preston? Oh, no. I'm thinking of the guy Albert. The Dolphins.
Real quick, we got some breaking news. An NFL trade went down between the Eagles and the Saints, and it is a starter. All right, so the Eagles land safety CJ Gardiner Johnson, the pest, the guy that pulls mouthpieces out. Such a good Philly Eagle right now. He's going to fit right in that secondary. So CJ Gardiner Johnson in a surprise trade with the Saints after extension talks broke down between New Orleans and CJ Sauce or whatever the fuck his name is.
That's awful.
It is a good trade for Philly, though. I know that you're not
a fan. That's what I'm saying. It's awful.
He's an antagonist. I think he's a little more known for his antics on the field than his play, but his play is good, and he definitely.
What are the Saints doing with that?
Some 15-yard penalties out of the offense for sure.
What are they? I don't understand. He was a safety, right?
Or he was a safety.
And then I got Honey Badger, but last night Honey Badger went out with a cryptic. I had these guys all of a sudden.
I think that's about that he's not getting cut now. They're clearly not cutting him now.
Hey, we're thinking about moving on from you, but instead we're going to trade the younger guy.
Yeah, it's a questionable
So let's trade
move.
him.
Questionable move from
Good
the Saints. You would think that the Saints were trying to keep everybody possible because there is some issues with losing guys and a little turnover in that roster. But
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that great of a player, but he is an annoying guy, and I think that helps on a defense. What else we got? All right, so you mentioned Kenyon Drake. I think that they cleared some things up for the Miami Dolphins backfield. For anybody that's looking to take a flyer on a potential starting running back, I know clearing things up with a McDaniels ran backfield or anything like a San Francisco 49er ran backfield is a little murky, even with the clear up. But they did name Raheem Mostert the starter for
And they
week
cut
1.
Sonny Michel.
And they cut
Yeah.
Sonny Michel, but there's still 31 backs over there.
That's true.
They still have everybody's. But it is good to get some clarification. He'll be in the backfield the first play of the game.
Yeah.
As things kick off for the Dolphins. And honestly, for about 4 weeks, you might get an RB1. And then he'll get hurt.
Maybe.
And then you'll have to adjust. But
And then you'll get
Raheem
backup.
Mostert is going super late, even in like 12th rounds in a lot of drafts. So just earmark him. If you see him late and you're kind of hurting or a flex spot, that's your guy. Less important news, Denzel Mims. There's
Sorry.
like a
I'm the
lot
only
of
one that does
different
that.
reports coming out of the New York Jets front office that they're willing to trade him. Denzel Mims wants to be traded, but then you got Coach Saleh coming in with the coach speak and saying he's on our team. We fully expect him to be on our team. And on Sunday, he did show out. You could call it a showcase for a trade, or you could call it like, hey, I am good. Use me more. But Denzel Mims, 7 catches for 120.
The Jets cut the quarterback that led that drive.
Mike White.
No, the backup. There's like a third guy that
Webb?
people. No, even deeper than that.
Is
I'm
he
just
even-
saying he
Webb was
became
even
like a
on the
darling
Jets?
all of a sudden. People are like, "Oh, this guy's good." He's like a everybody liked him like he's Tebow, but like with talent. So he actually could lace it. So I don't know. I forget his name, but anyway, he was cut.
All right, so
As
I got
well.
2 more little tidbits here. So
Go ahead, tidbit away. There he is.
on the heels of like really awful news surrounding the Brian Robinson situation, he was released from the hospital, I think either late last night or this morning, and Ron Rivera came out and said that it's not off the table for him to return this season and play some football this year. So prayers up, good vibes up to Brian Robinson. Hopefully things work out. And honestly, I'm still drafting the shit out of him late because if he does come back and right around then we're dealing with the same stress fracture in Antonio Gibson's shin bones, we might get a little Brian Robinson back end of the season to help out in your fantasy rosters. And in a little bit of a connected news to try and shed light on what's going on with a lot of these celebrities and these athletes, running into these situations isn't necessarily always their fault. Calvin Ridley was named as a target in an indictment. And like right away, you see Calvin Ridley indictment. And you're like, what the fuck did he do? But in this case, he did nothing wrong. There was a bust or there's an investigation happening where people were indicted on plans and a big plot to go around and rob athletes and celebrities, and Calvin Ridley's name was in it. It's like I guess a gang in Atlanta. A lot of weird shit happening with these
Did he try to
athletes.
pay off his debt from the gambling woes?
Maybe they were like, this guy's got money like that. All right. No, but that happened with Sean Taylor. It happens a lot, man. Like these guys have money. They
just stay the fuck out of these situations, guys.
Yeah,
like
bro,
I know.
What do
it's
you
like,
mean?
You're
So-
young and you got
so
all
Dave,
this money.
Dave,
and
Dave,
listen, I'm not a politician. I'm not trying to.
so like, don't park your car.
No, it's not. Keep driving. Just keep
don't
driving.
stop at red
Never
lights
stop.
because
keep
that's how
going.
it's happening. These people, well, it's not even a chance encounter. That's the thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
no, I know.
This guy's got money. You see him at a club one night. Follow him home. 2 weeks later, you watch him every day. These people are professional criminals and they have no remorse. So you see what happened. You saw what happened with Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor didn't do anything wrong. They ran up in his house. What is he supposed to do? Not go to bed in his bed? It's a tough situation.
Sleep on the roof.
I would imagine sooner than later, just like they do with the drivers, the NFL is going to start providing security on nights out. With
It's crazy. These people are going to be like,
that. But you'll also see it.
you can't also put these guys in a bubble. I get it.
Yeah,
You
the
know what I
NFL
mean?
players won't even use it though because they have this thing. The reason why they don't want to use the drivers is because it's like, well, we don't want you knowing what the fuck I'm doing every time I'm doing it.
LaRaven Clark of the Eagles, offensive tackle, was just released.
Making room for that for CJ, baby.
Maybe they did that. Well, now I'm worried that the Cowboys are going to go grab him because
All right, so that
starting
is
safety Anthony Harris
That
also
is
released
it
for the Eagles.
for my rundown.
So
Back
there you
to
go. There's
Dave.
hi. I'm just saying, like that's there's so much shit going on right now. It is cut down day. All teams are required to get down to 53 men by 4:00 this afternoon. So we'll get into all that first. Before we get to the luxurious conversation about college football, I do want to remind everybody, without some elaborate, too elaborate reads, that the Chop Sports Daily is being brought to you in part by the Michael Fusco Insurance Agency. He'll actually be stopping by today. We're going to discuss some things, try to get better reads and better content out there for him as he tries to grow his brand. But FuscoInsuranceAgency.com, go check him out, as well as SteveAspara.com currently right now is working around the clock for Chop Sports Media to get the brand new website up and ready for the September 1st relaunch, where we're going to have a lot of rentals things and just basically a service page rather than our content page. But all the rest of the stuff will still be there. Our podcast, blogging, all that stuff will still be available at chopsportsmedia.com. So thanks, Steve, for that. Our friends over at Dad Chat. Brand new social media. If you want to talk some shit and not get in trouble for it, those are your guys. They can't screenshot anything. You can just explode something and make sure it never gets seen the light of day again. If you're just drunk tweeting like I was the other day from DJs for no reason, it was such an awful experience. Like I can't. I go back to that and I'm just people who actually like DJs. It bothers me. It bothers me that you like that atmosphere. Like that just like you know what I hear the entire time, and you guys can hear this. Ready? The entire fucking time, it's just like wah, 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 and then there's like a longhorn.
Bro, what's wrong
I'm
with
talking
an
like,
air horn?
No.
Sunday afternoon at 3:30. There's nothing wrong with that.
But
bro.
it's not even that one was a good horn sound effect. This horn was like Ashley could probably tell you. It's like a fucking Viking. He's like, and I'm like, oh my god,
Breaking news.
more breaking
Donovan
news.
Mitchell scrubbed his Twitter account.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dude,
Scrubbed it, as in deleted all the tweets. Is that what scrubbed
Deleted
means?
all the he scrubbed the jazz from his Twitter account. I thought that was done like months ago. Anyway, sorry, DJs.
Scoop, you took I hope you took the under, brother. Just so you know, he goes Optimum made it 20 minutes so far. It's like I had another guy here today, yesterday, and I had him at gunpoint. And no, I'm kidding. I can't hack him anymore. Anyway, also Gooch, not as elaborate, but we are sponsored as well by our boys Manscaped. But by the way, before you get into that, they have a new product. It was sent to my house yesterday.
Well, that's disrespectful.
It is a little disrespectful. You do such good reads. They sent me the new product. It is a foot deodorant. It's a spray that you just spray your footsies. All right. And if you got smelly feet at the end of the day, bang, you're solved. 20% off Chop Sports. But
yeah.
Talk about the grundle, though.
All right. So guys, we all know about hoodie season. It's hoodie season. It's soup season. But yeah, bundle up, but it doesn't mean you need to grundle up. So get rid of that hairy grundle. The dark underbelly of man does not need to be there just because it's time to bulk up a little bit.
It is time to bulk up.
Just not on your ball sack. So
Hoodie
use
season
the promo code ShopSports. You head on over to manscaped.com. You get 20% off and free shipping anywhere in the world. Like I said, they got the Performance Package 4.0. It's got the Lawnmower 4.0, 400K LED light, porcelain blade for your booty crack.
Fun.
Manscaped.com, promo code ShopSports.
Do the damn thing.
20% off.
All right, Sauce. The floor is yours, my friend. Here, look, I told you in pre that my responsibility this year was to get into college football and to try to at least watch a little bit more of it. But the problem is if you don't watch college football ever, other than like the bowl season and like just games that we bet on maybe like throughout the course of last year, I was riding a lot of your bets. So I was just like, all right, I got to pay attention to this one because I am not one of those guys that could just place a bet and forget it and just be like, I'll check to see if I won later on. Like I have to be like sitting there watching every inch for no reason whatsoever other than my bet. But now I'm a Rutgers guy because there was a lot of Rutgers chop athletes last year and they performed decent in certain games and then they got shellacked in others. But like basically this episode is being used for the common folk who wants to get into college football, basically a refresher of sorts. So where are we starting, Gooch? Or do you want the floor first?
We're going to go with the SEC. So you could just pull up the SEC graphic and then Sauce.
There it is.
Here we go, buddy.
All right. So yeah, exactly what Dave said. This is going to be just like an overview of college football. I'm going to go through the major conferences for people who are like, yo, I really want to get into college football this year. Exactly what Dave said. If you're a diehard college football fan, a lot of the stuff I'm going to say, you're going to be like, yeah, duh. It's going to be common sense to you. But these are good points to know for the person that's just trying to get in. It's important stuff to know. And it really makes it easier to follow if you have a general idea of what you're looking for. So we'll start with SEC now. Do you have the
I do.
other?
Everything else that you sent me, I have. So if you need a graphic pulled up,
Yeah, could you put up the SEC East and West?
SEC East? They're separate. SEC East is one, and then SEC West is the other.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess just put up. Which one do I have first? Just put up the East first.
All right, the East it is. So hit up the East right there. So there. That's
All right,
the West.
perfect.
That's the SEC.
Oh, the West is fine. I can talk West.
Cool. Let's go West. Here we go.
So obviously Alabama.
I guess they're pretty good at football, right?
Yeah, the SEC as a whole is the most predictable conference ever. We all know we're going to see Alabama versus Georgia in the SEC championship again. It's not really a discussion. Georgia will win the East. Alabama will win the West. If I have to pick a team here to give Alabama some trouble,
Texas A&M. Let's go.
I have them on the list. I'd say Arkansas first because they bring back KJ Jefferson at quarterback. They lose Treylon Burks. He's on the Titans now.
Yeah, asthma.
Yeah, and also he had a wrist thing too. He got hurt in the preseason game. But I think Arkansas probably has the only chance, but it's not a realistic chance. Alabama's loaded, and then Texas A&M. Just because I mean this defense was good as hell last year, but it got gutted. 91st in the country in returning production on defense this year for Texas A&M. They lost a ton of their talent, but Jimbo Fisher is the coach, and he's a great head coach. So I'll throw them in there as well. But this is Alabama's division right here.
I'm looking at Alabama from last year, and while 7-1 is obviously dominant, right? But like, look at their points. They just scored 50 more points than the second team, only because their offense was good. But is that alarming that they only scored 100 more points than their opponents? I know it sounds like a lot, but you know what I mean? Like, were they a lot more closer games last year than normal?
Yeah, hell yeah. They almost lost to Auburn and LSU. They were down 10-0 to Auburn with like 3 minutes left. They ended up winning. And then same thing with LSU. They were down late. Alabama may have gone to the national championship game because they ended up winning those close games. And then they got hot at the end and beat Georgia in the SEC championship, only to lose a few weeks after that. But they got hot at the right time. But in reality, over the course of the whole season, Alabama last year wasn't as elite as their record showed. That being said, they will be this year. They're loaded.
Got it. Now, if we flip it on over to the East, we bring that up. There we go. SEC East. Georgia Bulldogs, obviously last year's darlings. I mean, look at the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs, bro. 66 points let up for a season. Some bad teams let that up in 1 week. These guys had this over the course of one season. Jesus Christ.
That's that comes out to be just about 8 points allowed per game in their SEC games. That's against the SEC schedule too. 8 points a game allowed. So yeah, Georgia is going to win this. But just two teams to keep an eye on are the same two teams that were there last year. Tennessee. Look at that offense, 278 points. Hendon Hooker transferred there from Virginia Tech last year, and I don't think anyone was expecting that. That offense is one of the most explosive offenses in the country, and it should be again this year. So Tennessee has a fighting chance. Also, Kentucky. I think Tennessee's better than Kentucky, but Kentucky does have Will Levis, and the reason I'm mentioning him on this show is he's a guy being talked about as far as in the NFL draft next year. You know, when it's a guy who's like, he's not even that good in college, but he's big. He's got the big arm, and he's like the guy that someone could coach up, you know?
Right.
He's that guy. I don't even think Will Levis is that good, but he does have an absolute rifle. So the NFL scouts like him a lot. I'm being told, I've read that he should be drafted, but overall, I like Tennessee better. But it's Alabama versus Georgia in the SEC. It's basically all you need to know.
Now, would you say the SEC would, I mean, as much as I told you in I was like, I'm going to focus on the Big Ten. We'll talk about the Big Ten in a second. But is the SEC that's like the first 15 picks of the NFL draft? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it has the most talent.
Ohio State in there.
Yeah, of course. But I mean,
it has the most talent.
It has the most talent. Okay. I'm just clearing that up.
But the Big Ten is second. And there's a lot of talent in the Big Ten, especially this year, the Big Ten East. But I think ACC, we said we were going to go second.
Who we got next?
ACC is next.
ACC is next as we bring up the ACC. The Atlantic Coast Conference, go back to, they got an East and a West too?
They got an Atlantic and a Coastal.
ACC.
So I'm going to bring up the Atlantic first.
Okay, now it's important to mention, you don't have to pay too much of attention to the ACC Atlantic and ACC Coastal because this is the last year you will ever see that. Starting next year, the ACC announced they will go back to a single division conference, just 14 teams. And the way they're doing the scheduling is each team will have 3 rivals that they play every single year. And then the remaining 10 teams in the conference you'll play on a rotation, which is cool. It's easier to follow, except Miami isn't one of Clemson's rivals. So we're not going to see Miami-Clemson every year, which is disappointing. Because if they're combining the two, that's the game I would want to see every year.
Right.
And then Florida State got shafted. They got to play Clemson and Miami every year because that's 2 of their rivals. That's kind of bullshit, but that's what they're doing moving forward. But for this year, we still have the Atlantic and the Coastal, and here's the Atlantic here. I think Clemson steamrolls. I think it's going to be a very chalky year in college football. People are acting like, Clemson had the worst year they've had in like a decade last year. They went 10-2. They went 10-2 in this terrible year. DJU is starting at quarterback in week 1, but I think there's a chance that he is benched by week 3, and I still don't think it even matters. Clemson's got that kid. It's Kurt Klubnik, I think it is, who's supposed to be like the next Trevor Lawrence. He's a true freshman. He's waiting to take DJU's job. It'll happen any week.
Right.
So, I think Clemson steamrolls here. I agree, Scoop. Big regression. If I had to pick a second team in the ACC Atlantic, I'd go with NC State. They went 9-3 last year, and they returned they're 12th in the entire country in returning production. So you got a 9-3 team bringing everyone back. So NC State, a lot of people are big on.
So it seems like Duke has themselves a hell of a football program.
They got worse
for a while.
They got worse. Like a lot of the stuff I've watched, like people when they get to the Duke breakdown, they're like, start laughing.
They have a good year a couple years back.
Well, they had Daniel Jones.
Oh,
DJ. All right,
and
so
they
last year 0-8 in the conference. Hello.
They weren't even good with Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones was good with them.
Yeah, he's not good with the Giants. That sucks.
No,
anyway.
actually, I don't mind that at all.
I mean, yeah, of course, for us Cowboy fans, yeah, of course, we like that. All right,
so,
obviously, Pitt last year went 11-3, 7-1 in the conference, scored a whole bunch of points.
They lost Kenny Pickett though,
and they lost.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett. So
but here's the thing:
for Kenny Pickett,
they bring in Keaton Slovis, he was the starter at USC last year. He's transferring because Lincoln Riley went out there and brought Caleb Williams from Oklahoma with him.
College football is a bitch these days.
Yeah, I got to ask you this, Kyle, and maybe you could shed some light on it. This portal thing, right? There's all the transfers that are happening, and it happened and it started with COVID because COVID actually, was nixing a couple programs. So of course, like the portal was open for you to go play somewhere else. Is this like going forward? Is this going to be forever going forward, no matter what COVID is or whatever variant is running wild, like Hulkamania? Like, is it just going to be like you can do whatever you want?
I think so, but here's the thing: when it first started happening, I was like, "This is ridiculous," but it's actually turning into a positive if you're a college football fan because I know so many starting quarterbacks in the country. Just because someone gets benched, they just transfer to a lesser school. Like right now, Keaton Slovis should be a backup at USC. I know who that is. I watched him last year, but I get to watch him. I don't know who would be starting at Pittsburgh if it wasn't for Slovis.
Right. Very good point.
That is a good
so
point.
I know, like out of the 130 FBS teams, I probably know like 85, 90 starting quarterbacks now, and a lot of that is because of the transfer portal. That makes that possible.
Bryce Mitchell.
Right.
His name's Bryce Young. His name's Bryce Young.
So I know 0.
You're an offer.
That is perfect.
So the 11-3 Pittsburgh Panthers, obviously 7-1. What?
I'm just laughing. Who is there a Bryce Young? Does he exist?
Yes.
He's Alabama's quarterback, probably the Heisman winner.
All right. So is there a Bryce Mitchell?
No.
I mean, I'm sure one exists.
Sure, yeah. They're probably, if you Google Bryce Mitchell, they're out there, definitely. So how about the chance for all those U fans out there? Any
a lot of people
could be good.
A lot of people are huge on Miami this year because Tyler Van Dyke took over at quarterback, and this kid can sling it. He's got the Carson Wentz red hair going. Yeah. Ew.
All right, go ahead.
But this conference, a lot of people are thinking Pittsburgh's going to take a huge step backwards with Kenny Pickett, but I like Slovis. So actually, this is a 2-man race between Pittsburgh and Miami. Virginia Tech has a new coach. It's Brent Sly. He was the D coordinator at Penn State. He got a head coaching gig. He's at Virginia Tech. But overall, this is between Pittsburgh and Miami, and it's pretty open. I think it's just going to be a coin flip. That game happens, I think, in October. So that's the two teams you watch for on this side. Clemson versus one of those two teams. That's the ACC.
Okay. And you can bring us back up. But when I'm looking at North Carolina, right, I feel like all of their running backs have skipped town over the last couple of years. So do they have a running game, or is that just teams going to be?
And they lost Sam Howell too.
And they lost Sam Howell, their quarterback. So like North Carolina, I feel like is going to be like a little bit of a step back ski unless they
somehow their win total still at 7.5. I bet the under. But you know what? There's some. I've seen a few ACC writers that know more about the ACC than I could ever hope to know that like North Carolina this year. So I'm not going to sit here and be like they're wrong because they know more.
They don't have any guys that transferred from like Texas to go play quarterback at a lesser school. That's not happening.
Yeah, you know what? 1 second. Let's see if they did get
it's very possible.
transfer.
It's very possible, yeah. Because I figured, what's his guy? What's his face's son commit to Texas? Arch, another Manning,
right?
Yeah.
Ewan or something. The quarterback that was the number one prospect or number one rated quarterback.
He left.
So there's two.
He left. Didn't he get like a text in like lunch or homeroom and said like you're going to Texas and then have to take a snap? Didn't that happen? Yeah. See, I remember.
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
but I don't like North Carolina. It's between Miami and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. You got it. ACC. What do we got next?
Big Ten.
My
shit. I love the Big Ten.
I knew there was.
All right, there's a Bryce Mitchell in the UFC, and he just beat Edwin Barbosa.
I'm glad that I have that knowledge now. I'm glad that I know that.
Yes, exactly. All right, moving on to the Big Ten, I believe, right? And then, so look, the Big Ten, obviously, it consists of, guys that you're going to be talking about year in and year out, and that's the Ohio States of the world, the Michigans of the world. If you're looking at Big Ten wrestling, then it even gets deeper than that. Iowa, I believe, right? Iowa, they're there. Iowa. Rutgers, Penn State. I said that already. No, I didn't say Penn State. But like the Big Ten is loaded, I think, in my opinion. But if you look back last year, the Big Ten and the East, Michigan and Ohio State kind of ran away with it. But the Spartans played very well. The Penn State played well. I mean, Maryland stayed above 500. The Rutgers Scarlet McKnights, they had a good start, but then they kind of just fell off the face of the earth. So where do you see the Big Ten in 2022?
Ohio State might have the best college football team ever assembled in my lifetime.
That's not a hot take, but it's just it's a take. It's a very good.
Think how good they were last year. The only reason they lost to Michigan was because the game was played in the snow. Yeah, they would have.
The reason why the Packers lost to the fucking 49ers.
Frozen field. Yeah, I get it. Because the Packers aren't used to that, so it's weird.
Did any one of the three of us call that 49ers win? I'm trying to remember. Did anyone say that they were going to enjoy?
That was the sauce, guys.
Yeah, so that'll be it for the sauce. Thanks for coming back.
Okay, so about this Big Ten East, right down the line: Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Penn State. All four programs return their head coach. All four programs return their quarterback this year. It's going to be a battle.
And Scoop's pointing out 418 points scored by Ohio State. My God.
They're bringing back. People. They had the best offense in this. There's a couple cool things about Ohio State. So they're 24th in returning production in the entire country, in the entire FBS.
Can I just make a point to that? Didn't they get two wide receivers drafted?
They had four first-round picks, I believe.
Dotson, one of them?
No, it was Garrett Wilson.
Olave and
Garrett Wilson.
Ohio State. I'm thinking of Penn State. Sorry.
But still, I mean, and to have that type of return and that type of offense on paper going into this year after losing two first-round picks, basically lottery picks.
They had two receivers drafted in the first round. And those were their wide receivers 2 and 3. Smith and Jigba's still there. That's their best guy.
Hawaii Mike coming in saying Michigan has a quarterback controversy. Any truth to that there, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, if you watched McNamara last year, he definitely didn't cement himself as a reliable starting quarterback. Michigan won all those games last year based on running the ball to Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum and their defense. And their defense got gutted. I'm not big on Michigan this year. I think Ohio State steamrolls this division, but if you're an NFL fan, there's a cool team in the Big Ten East to keep your eye on, the Terps, Maryland. So you got Tua's little brother at quarterback. Okay. He slings the ball.
Is he lefty too by any stretch?
No, right? He is not. And dude, this kid
would be weird to watch him throw.
Although Tua uncorked a bomb.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Underthrown.
So you got Tua's little brother at quarterback coming back. Mm-hmm. You got Dante Demas Jr. and I can't think of the other receiver's name, but he's a monster.
Pecorella.
No, I don't believe that's it.
Not him. He's the punter. But go ahead.
So you have a returning quarterback and Tua's little brother. They return all 5 starters on the offensive line, and they have a returning 2 stud receivers. This team can't stop anybody, but they might be putting up 50 pieces. Like, they're just going to throw the ball deep. And I think Tua's little brother and both receivers, especially Dante Demas Jr., he's a young Terrell Owens.
So basically,
you will see him on Sundays.
You got somebody in the comments saying, I'm not sure about Maryland. They were hyped all year last year and they collapsed. Well, yeah, they collapsed when they had to run into the teams that they're expected to collapse against. I don't think anybody's, thinking Maryland's going to win the conference or anything like that, but they could be an interesting team, fun team to watch and fun team to bet on.
But also, it's important to mention, Maryland got crushed with injuries last year. Dante Demas Jr. had like 500 receiving yards through 3 games, then was out for the year. So
and Rube is bringing up somebody. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name. Smith Najigba. Okay, cool. Is the next Jamar Chase level prospect? He says so. He
might be the best receiving prospect I've ever seen. This dude is crazy. He's like
the receiver, right?
No, he's like route running in hands. He's like a young Larry Fitzgerald. Honestly,
wow,
he's so good. He's so good. So yeah, Maryland. Those 4 teams. Ohio State's going to run it. Then Michigan State, and Penn State are all on the similar level, all in the 8-win range. And then Maryland is the team that I think will just be fun to watch.
Big Ten West. It looks like Iowa. Obviously the
Imagine
team to beat.
Getting to play in that one,
bro.
Yeah, like what is that? Like
well, hold on. This is misleading though, because Wisconsin's actually a good fucking team. They just had a rough year.
9-4 record is nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean?
We're not. We're talking about Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
I understand
End
that
of story.
I know, I get it, but it's just like it's still 9.
No, Wisconsin is in this. Wisconsin has been better than Michigan recently.
I agree.
But Wisconsin. There's something I want to say about Wisconsin and Michigan. So the way the Big Ten schedule works, you play everyone in your division every year. But on the other division, like the Big Ten East to West, you have one rival that you play every year for 6 years. Michigan just got done with a stretch where they had to play Wisconsin every year for 6 years. And they're not supposed to play Wisconsin. They're in the Big Ten East. Now, Ohio State is starting their 6-year stretch against Wisconsin. Michigan has drawn, Illinois. So Michigan's schedule just got significantly easier for the foreseeable future. I like Wisconsin to win the Big Ten West, definitely. That kid, Braylon Allen, makes Derrick Henry look like a little child. This is have you ever seen it? When we're done here, I want you to YouTube Braylon Allen highlights. He was
put him in the things to do after the show.
This kid is this kid was a
spot in fantasy football keeper league.
This kid was a 19-year-old true freshman last year, 240 pounds, running like a train. He is insane. He looks like he was created in a lab.
So
DK Metcalf, Jace?
Just to run back, because I was asked this question the other day, and I don't know much about the kid, but I know that if I'm a Derrick Henry owner, I'm targeting him. Do you think that Hassan Haskins has a chance to be a lead back in the league once the Derrick Henry situation is wrapped up?
I don't know if he has because Derrick Henry is like a pound it, grind the defense type of back, but he also is a big play guy. Derrick Henry hits home runs all the time.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So I don't think Haskins has that. I think he can pound the defensive front 7 all game and bring that same. Derrick Henry always seems to be best in the fourth quarter because the defense is just tired as shit.
Just beat up. That's why Marion Barber ate in the fourth quarter. He would just lay shoulders down.
I think Haskins can definitely be that type of back without a doubt, but I don't think he has the big play. I haven't really seen him. Derrick Henry, how many times have we seen him break away, stiff arm somebody, and go 70?
Right.
Haskins isn't really like a home run hitter like that.
He's not even like rumbling and stumbling. Like, once you get past that second level, he's just gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
And then anybody chasing him is like, fuck this.
Even if I catch him, can I tackle? Even if I catch him, can I tackle him? No.
If I get there, am I going to be able to do anything to stop him? Probably not.
So whoever it was in the comments the other day that had that Hassan Haskins question, there you go.
So moving on to what do we got next?
Should be the Pac-12. Oh, Big 12. Big 12 should be next.
The Big 12. Okay, so this is my this is Hookem. This is Texas. Yes.
Yeah, we'll just go right.
Okay, so
Boomer Sooners though too.
See how this schedule is perfect. I love how the Big 12 has 10 teams and the Big 10 has and the Big 10 has 14 teams.
I gotta love it. Aren't they? Wait.
Yeah.
Before we get into this, there's been a bunch of jumping, right? Stuff's gonna happen starting next year, right?
That's what I was starting with.
Okay, cool. Go.
So sorry. It's not even worth explaining. This schedule is very simple. There's 10 Big 12 teams, no divisions, just 10 Big 12 teams. They play everybody once, 9 conference games. but that's no more after this year. Oklahoma and Texas are gone, but don't worry, the Big 12 is going to be fine. They're bringing in Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, and UCF. 4 really good programs. This conference, I think the Big 12 is still going to be dope. So I don't even care about Oklahoma and Texas because they're trading 2 really good programs for 4 pretty good programs. So more football.
And I think there's a little excitement attached to these. Like you could almost call them mid-majors in football at this point, where you would equate them to what you do in college basketball. There's the Houstons of the world. Like they're good schools, but in football, there's like a buzz around a lot of these teams, the Cincinnati's, UCFs. They're like the team that needs to be in this conference to finally get the credit that they've been looking for.
Also, it's going to open the door for a team like Oklahoma State, Baylor, or even Iowa State to become like a perennial conference champion and really like take the step from like an A- school to an A+ school.
Perennial powerhouses year after year. It'll be nice to get some new blood in there.
Yep. So this year, this is what's cool about the Big 12. It's our last year in this 10-team format, and it's wide the fuck open. Listen to this. So first team, last year's champions was Baylor. I don't like their new quarterback, and I also think they had a lot of fortunate bounces last year. I don't like Baylor this year. Next team up, Oklahoma State. They had the best defense, second best defense in the country last year to Georgia. Their defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, is gone. He went to Ohio State and took their 2 best defensive players with him. So they're gone.
A piece of shit school. They're
such scumbags. like, really, did you need the best defense in the league, their defensive coordinator, and their 2 best players? Like, fuck you. Oklahoma, probably the most talented team in the Big 12 this year. Yo, Lincoln Riley just pieced, took the quarterback, took the receiver. Like, they just got gutted too.
Can't wait till he coaches the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
He took them with him. So Oklahoma's another question mark. Then you get down to Iowa State. There would be the 4th best team in the conference. Yo, Brock Purdy, he plays for the 49ers. Breece Hall plays for the Jets. So that team also got gutted. Which brings me to the dark horse. I don't want to get these fans' hopes up because the Texas Longhorns fans are just broken every season.
Texas football, boy.
If there's one year where the Texas Longhorns can sneak their way to a Big 12 championship and possibly into the college football playoffs, it's this year because this conference is wide open.
Baby. Let's go.
This is Texas year. This is Texas year right here.
I love it.
I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm saying this is the best chance they've had.
This is their year that they finally have a chance to get some meaningful football.
I'm sure
Yes.
Rube was in the comments before saying hook him, so he's ready for this shit. All right, so that's your Big 12 preview. What else?
Wide open Big 12.
Open. I love it. What else?
Pac-12 should be next.
Pac-12. All right, so I'm already cut the hell off.
All right.
Now the Pac-12. Normally I'd be like, yo, don't even invest any Red Bull. These games are on too late. It sucks. This year, though, I'm telling you. So we start with the Pac-12 North. The Pac-12 is very one-sided, and all the talents in the South. Some people like Oregon this year. I don't. I like the Washington Huskies. They bring in Michael Penix Jr. at quarterback, and they also bring in the entire coaching staff that balled out with Michael Penix. But none of that matters. Maybe the Oregon Ducks probably win this conference, but it doesn't matter because skip over to the South. That's what the Pac-12 is about, the South. Utah, yo. The Utah Utes are so fucking good. All right. So last year, Utah started off the season. They started the season without their quarterback. He was hurt. Cam Rising. He didn't fully come back till week 4, their 4th game. That's when he came back. Utah was 1-2. And this isn't the NFL. You can't just lose 2 games and be like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. Like, That's emergency. They're 1-2. Cam Rising comes back. They go 8-1 on the rest of the season. They beat the brakes off of Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. They win by 4 touchdowns. Then almost beat Ohio State in the bowl game. They lost 45-42. This Utah team, there's a reason Kyle Whittingham has been the head coach here for damn near 20 years. I think it's 18 years. It's because he's a really, really good head coach. And this team is always good. And I think they're poised to be really, really good this year. I really, really like Utah. But there's one big but. I think that the Pac-12 South alone is going to have 2 top 10 teams in it. Southern Cal Trojans are back this year. You guys ready for this shit?
I'm
Look
ready.
at this. So, obviously, Lincoln Riley leaves Oklahoma. He goes to USC, right? Mm-hmm. He brings Caleb Williams, probably the 3rd best quarterback in college football right now, probably will be the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft because he has another year after this. So he probably will be that guy, not next draft, the draft after that. So Lincoln Riley goes to USC, brings him. He also brings Mario Williams, a freshman receiver. Well, now he's a sophomore. This dude's good as shit. Big playmaker. He's small. He's 5'9", but he catches the ball. He reminds me of like a Marvin Harrison. Catches the ball over the middle, even though he's a little guy. He's tough as hell. They also bring in Jordan Addison. And if you don't know who this is the dude Kenny Pickett was throwing all his touchdowns to. No. Jordan Addison had 1,600 yards and 17 receiving touchdowns last year. He's at USC now. Do you remember Travis Dye? He had 1,300 rushing yards and 16 rushing touchdowns on Oregon last year. He's the running back on USC now. Dude, they brought everybody.
Really fucking, it's like fantasy football. It's
portal. If you're looking to, as an incoming freshman, and you're looking at the situation in front of you, that's got to be the hardest thing on the player. I think once you're an established player, the portal is great. Or once you're at your school and you don't like your situation, great for you. You could leave. But choosing your school is almost like, well, I guess you base it on the fact that, well, I could just leave.
So basically,
so it's not as hard.
So what we're saying is basically like on that decision day or signing day or whatever, and you put on the fucking fresh hat. You're like, yup, here we go, baby, hook 'em horn. And you're like, fuck this.
You just broke up.
Can I have the rest of the hats, please? Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, you're back. Wow, your voice broke up for like 5 seconds. I got worried, but you're back.
I see the
little status guys.
So Kyle, when is the Utah USC game?
So that's what I'm getting into. So the USC offense is like head and shoulders more talented and stacked than Utah, but the Utes under Kyle Whittingham play defense, and USC's defense was awful last year, and they did not load up the defense like they did the offense at all. So the Utah USC game is on. Oh my God, I was just looking at it. I didn't write it down. I'll get it right now. Because that's important. Because that is what that matchup right there is putting the Pac-12 on the map this year. That is October 15th at Utah, and that's what that game is for the Pac-12. It's going to be awesome. And then the last game of the year, Thanksgiving weekend, we get to see all that talent on USC play against Notre Dame, which should also be a great game to watch.
Isn't that the game that same weekend we get Michigan, Ohio State?
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving weekend is rivalry weekend. So you'll see Auburn, Alabama. You'll see Michigan, Ohio State.
You'll see the Dallas Cowboys stomp out the Giants. It's going to be a nice little weekend. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we should see that.
Yeah,
but
we should see that.
So that, like, every other – if this was any other year, I would hop on here and be, don't bother watching the Pac-12. But this is the year to watch the Pac-12.
All right. Sounds good. Is that the rest of that? Is that all the conference?
Well, just one more. I just wanted to show this. And this is the AAC. A lot of people call it the American Conference. And Cincinnati and Houston, UCF, SMU, Memphis, like these teams are on the rise. And I just wanted to show you this conference too, because Cincinnati and Houston and UCF are gone. They're going to the Big 12.
This conference is gone after this year.
But yes, basically, I just wanted to point out to everyone, this conference is basically merging with Conference USA. So those three are gone, and they're bringing in North Texas, Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, UTSA, and UAB. So this conference and Conference USA are merging, and so that's the AAC should be. It's going to take a hit without Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF, but it still should be good football.
Any chance that the Temple Owls fold as a football organization?
Yo, have you ever seen?
It seems like their specialty is PR and people that graduate with PR degrees and whatever else actually graduated with. But their football team is fucking awful, bro. They didn't score 100 points.
93 points scored.
What the fuck is that?
Have you
stomped them out in the first week? But that was it. Like.
I went and saw a Temple game. I went and saw Temple Villanova at the Link. Yeah, my friend got a full ride to play and at Villanova. So I was there. Yo, the Temple home games, when they get a first down, every first down they get, they're the Owls. So they'll be like, first down, Temple Owls. And they go, like this bird noise, and I swear to God, it's like, oh my God, someone turned that off.
You would think they would just do like first honestly, down Owls.
Like right now, if you go to a Temple game though, it's at the what is it, the Link?
The one I saw was at the Link. I don't know if they play all of them there.
The Link, and there's only like the tailgates are lit, but the game itself,
any
nobody goes in
tailgates
it.
are
So
lit.
they're
They-
playing that loud ass
If
bird song.
Middlesex County
to an
College had a
empty-ass
football team,
stadium.
tailgates would be lit.
With the echo.
It's so screechy. It pierces your brain.
When
It's
you
like, who
clap-
picked
when
that?
You clap in the Temple game, you hear the echo across the other bleachers.
It's like you're on the 50, you're on the opposite 50. Gooch, you see that play? That was amazing. And you're like, I know.
Hey, Tony.
Fuck you, Tony.
Fuck you, Tony.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yo,
All right.
to respond to Mike Iwanki, I never know how to say his name, but to respond to him, yo, SMU's got Tanner Mordecai playing quarterback. So honestly, that is a cool team to look at. This might be a good surprise here for SMU, but I like Cincinnati to repeat even without Desmond Ridder and Sauce Gardner. They lost a bunch of people. I still like them to repeat. I think they have Houston's number, and Houston probably will be the better team, but I think Cincinnati still beats them.
I got you. Gooch, this is just off the wall here, a little on the fly movement. Since college football did take up a very nice chunk of our show, and it was very knowledgeable, and I love it. Would you like to finish the Seahawks, do the Cardinals, and do the next team all tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, because we can move all that. We'll even change maybe the thumbnail. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we apologize to any of those all one of you.
Yeah,
all one Cardinal fan.
For the
I don't think that they're even.
I almost just called them the Phoenix Cardinals, to be honest with you. For the Cardinals fans out there, we will be covering that team tomorrow. We didn't expect. Well, I kind of did.
I didn't know I was on a time limit. I'm sorry.
No,
We're
not
good.
at all. You're good. We usually like to keep it down to an hour.
We just have a meeting,
and we have a meeting coming up, so it's like we want to make sure. No big deal. This is what. Trust me. Anybody. I'm excited
that
now.
was good food.
I'm excited about the college.
Yo, did you guys like retain? Like you guys thought it was
100%.
I have notes right here. It's just a bunch of squiggly lines.
Yeah, his squiggly
That's
line
how I
notes.
take
I'm not
notes,
worried
but-
about his notes, but I am like, look, I will actually be heavily involved this year with at least the Big Ten and a lot of the marquee matchups. Now, one team we didn't talk about, I have to ask you, because of the divisions and the way it lines up, Notre Dame, like
their win totals at 8.5.
Okay, like because there's a lot of Fighting Irish fans out there, and I know that they're always. I feel like the Notre Dame fans are very Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers. You know, like if we're not the best, there's a lost season. But like obviously Notre Dame's not primed to make any like deep runs. But like when you look at their team this year, what do you think?
Well, obviously they're going to get beat by damn near 50 points in the first week of the season. Oh my God, that's this Saturday. Holy shit. Notre Dame at Ohio State is this Saturday. That's crazy.
Yikes.
I didn't realize like it's 3 days away. This is nuts. So yeah, they're going to get the shit beat out of them. I think it's Ohio State is up to like -17. I don't care. I'll lay 28. Don't care.
And that's going against. So if you guys follow the sauce, you know that if he's talking like I'll lay 28, he doesn't really like to go over 21 in college football. Is what I learned from him last year. So
is that right? Is that a fact? You don't like going over 21, Kyle?
I mean, I wouldn't say I don't like it, but if the line is up to like 30, and I will look for a first half bet or a team total rather than lay the full number.
It looks like Jimmy Palumbo. By the way, new show, is it available yet? According to sources,
he didn't text me that there was any.
In any event, Jimmy Palumbo came in and said, "Great job," and he's expecting the Chris Gucci NHL season preview tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Where Gucci will go deep in the NHL coverage of finding out if the Rangers can get over that hump and clear that. Hold up the Stanley Cup.
Clear it.
Is
he offside?
One more thing for Notre Dame. They, a little bit of luck on their side. They have the BYU and Clemson.
The Irish, so it's got the 4-leaf clover.
They have the luck of the Irish. The BYU and Clemson game, both at home in South Bend. That's big. Now, they do have to go to Southern Cal to play Lincoln Riley's new fucking Warcraft of a team. So, like, that's probably a loss, and Ohio State is a loss. But I think if someone was like, yo, Notre Dame could go 10-2, I think 9-3 is more likely. But 10-2 is not out of the question, especially with there being some quarterback questions in Clemson.
And 9-3 is no conversation for any kind of playoffs, right?
They'll get a dope bowl game at 9-3 with their schedule, but no, they won't even be in the discussion. Even if they go 10-2, I don't think they'll be in the discussion.
While bowl season is great for guys like you who bet on the big bowl game, like right, it's an exciting week. Everybody's watching, all eyes on college football. Like the college football playoff, either expand or just get rid of the other shit. Because I'm really done with the whole like it's the Enterprise Rent-A-Car Bowl here on the fucking. And it's like
I agree.
Nobody cares. It's like
I agree that I don't like how it's like even if it's a dope game. Like last year. The 5, because they have the 4 playoff teams. Last year, the 5 versus 6 game was Utah versus Ohio State.
Yeah.
You think that we should be pumped for that, but it's like, what is this even for?
Right.
It's not even like, it's like, why do I care who wins?
At least make it towards like, when the AP poll comes out in the beginning of, right around the springtime and everybody's trying to like, find out who's what. Maybe if you win that 5-6 game, you can't start next year any lower than 5 or something like that.
The reason why they do it is that they want to make a ton of money while ruining the potential NFL career of a young budding. That's the only real reason why.
Bro, you're not wrong, because it's like but here's the thing. A lot of these guys, they don't play if they have an NFL future. They just don't play.
It's for the draft kings of the world. That's what it's gambling. It just makes money, and that's why they're doing it. People are watching.
But it's the hardest. They're the hardest games to. They're the hardest games to handicap though, because you have like
never played.
Yeah, it's Utah versus Ohio State. Not only have they never played, they don't even play the same opponents. So you can't compare.
That's even more of a reason why they play the game. It's
like
harder to handicap.
It's like
we make more money.
Yeah, it's like, okay, the New York Rangers are going to take on the Boston Celtics in a game of Quidditch. It's like, how the fuck do I count that? I don't know. I like the Celtics though.
Slapping the over on that one, by the way.
Look, we got our boy the Sauce. We got Kyle Kirms here. I know that you were talking to me recently about this little contest, this survivor pool, and I want to talk about 2 survivor pools that we have right now. The survivor pool that we're helping my buddy run through Chop Sports is a $100 entry fee. There was over $65,000 in prizes last year. Looking to make about $70,000 to $80,000 in prizes this year. For anybody that's interested in the survivor pool, please reach out to myself, Dave. Actually, just reach out to me or Dave, and we'll get you set up with the entry fee and all that good stuff. And then I know Kyle, if you head on over to kylekerms.com and you sign up for the VIP, and I know Kyle doesn't like doing the live reads to get people to go there, but I feel like this is a very cool thing and it's worth it. If you go over there and you're a VIP, you get entered into a free pick'em tournament where under 500 any given week and you're out.
Yeah, you make 4 picks, 4 NFL picks a week. If you go
2 and 2 or better,
2 and 2 or better, and you're still alive. If you go 1 and 3 or worse, you're out. And it's free to enter as long as you're on the VIP list. I'm just giving $1,000 cash to the winner out of my pocket. This isn't sponsored by anything, just from me to the winner.
KyleKerms.com.
Yeah. Head on over to just go to Kyle's YouTube page, Kyle Kirms on YouTube, and you'll see a little bit.
You can find
of
that page literally on this page, just on the bottom.
What he gives out. Kyle Kirms giving out picks for free every day. If you want the real goods, then you sign up for the
VIP, and then you download the app, the Sauce Network app.
Who's covering customer service nowadays? You need anybody or no?
I don't. I cursed out somebody the other day. I really got to get somebody. I'm so bad in there. I'm so mean to my own customers. Like,
I know.
Person on earth to a fault. So
Chris will be like, hey man, calm down.
I'll be like, Kyle, you owe these guys like 7 free months each.
You'll start.
Who agreed to that?
The guy the other day, I was like he asked like a dumb question, but like he just caught me in a mood, and I was like, "Yo, you think for $1 a day that I'm your personal bitch that's sitting on a computer waiting to answer your questions?" I said that to him. He was asking me a legitimate betting question. It was a stupid question, but like I just caught me in the wrong mood. This is one of my customers.
So Kyle's
really good.
3,000 subscribers. Now he's at 2,099.
No, that's the thing. They some of them like it. No, some of them like it. They'll be like, I appreciate that. I feel like I know you.
It's like a bad relationship. Like a guy just
like a battered wife.
You know where I'm going with that. So it's like somebody's like just keep.
They pay you $30 a month to get verbally abused.
Right.
On the internet.
It's like I put a bet in, and then you treat them like shit. It's like, and then they're like, listen, man, just give me the bet, dude. Your hand on their face.
And like their friends are like, why do you let Sauce? Their friends are like, why do you let? Their friends are like, why do you let Sauce do that? You're like, he's under a lot of pressure. No, but they're like, the one guy said it. He goes, nah. He's like, I feel like I know the real you rather than you're just kissing my ass because I give you. And I was like, cool. I appreciate that. So you know the real me. I'm just an asshole.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. But I will say, like, you have to have been busy, because I talked to Gooch last week about it, and I was like, bro, and like, not even in our group chat. Like, I'm like, where the fuck is Kyle? You know, like, he's got to be nose to the ground. It's the busiest season for you. I get it, man. You got college football coming up. You got NFL's coming up.
It was the baseball lives that
baseball lives really took over. Yeah, man. And not for nothing. I don't know if you know this, Kyle. Now, you might not know this until I'm telling you this right now, and I'm rooting for this. there's an outside chance your scrub-ass, shitty-ass fantasy baseball team can make it as the 6th seed. If you win and 2 other teams lose, and I think you outscore them by like, I don't know, 4 or some shit, you can
300.
300. If you outscore them by 300, you can make the
But
playoffs.
look, you go
man.
into the final week of the season with an 8% chance, bro, and that's better than a 0% chance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what's better than all that? 100% chance in the playoffs.
I forgot about the
playoffs and get
baseball.
dropped.
Yeah, week 2. I set my
There's 130
to one and done, Dave.
There's 32 NFL teams. There's 130 FBS teams. So and it's college, so there's so much turnover every year. Just being prepared for the first Saturday is like weeks of work. So yeah, it's crazy how June was like June and July were like crawling on. I was like, dude, I can't take any more baseball. I need football. And then like August 8th hit. And the last 3 weeks have felt like 72 hours. Like, shit, it's here. I'm not ready.
Scoop has said he's got some screenshots about, that you sent him about the other
guy. I sent him the other one. I sent him the other guy.
Hey, I need to cancel my subscription, so you cancel it. And then he said, I meant at the end of the month.
I was like, how the fuck was I supposed to know that?
Well, it's good. Usually when you cancel something mid-month, they give you to the end of the month, Kyle. Jesus
that's
Christ.
when you have a fucking team and
a... Well, hold on, though. Yo, this is important, though, because some people cancel because they're struggling with gambling addiction. So I cancel it right away on people,
you know what?
Just in case. Yeah.
That's a very good point. No,
so I've had people's wives hit me up.
Do you have a 1-800-GAMBLER disclaimer thing on your website?
I say it sarcastically all the time. Yeah, the whole thing is...
I thought you were going to say, Kyle, do you have a gambling problem?
This should be your
yes,
pitch.
Absolutely, yes.
Hey, have a gambling problem? Well, go on, check out KyleKirms.com and get all your free picks. That's beautiful.
If you have a gambling problem, you don't have to spend anything. He gives you free picks. Then you make the money, and then you spend the money.
The whole thing is if you bet the way I tell you to bet. I'm not talking about the picks. If you bet in the way where you spread your money out and just pick your spots, don't reach on anything, no parlays, then you really should never be in financial trouble. Because, like, even at flipping a coin at that.
Money, everybody.
Now, this was great. This was a great conversation. And there's some good food in this, and we appreciate Kyle coming on. But I just can't wait to do week 1. I want to hear what you have to say about week 1. College football is great, but it literally is just an appetizer for me.
Panthers plus 3.5. Panthers plus 3.5.
I'm with it. Hey, listen, Baker Mayfield, comeback player of the year. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
How hard do you think Myles Garrett plants his face into the dirt the first time he hits him?
And then stomps him with the cleat to the back of the head.
Yeah. About Aaron Donald.
Oh, well, we didn't talk about it. Yeah, Aaron Donald.
Is he going to get suspended?
Why? Did they suspend Myles Garrett?
6 games.
Oh, then yes, they're probably going to suspend him.
But that was in practice against his own team, though. Against a different team. No, it was a different team.
The NFL did say.
Bro, you hear
No, the NFL did say. I know.
They landed.
Did you see the one picture? Did you see the picture of the helmet dented in?
Yeah, bro.
So, or at least squishy. But I know, bad word, squishy. Whatchamacall? What was it? As they look. Anyway, what was I saying? Fuck. Oh,
bad job by Aaron Donald.
Bad job by Aaron Donald. The NFL has come out and said, we have nothing to do with the practice. You guys discipline your players. So imagine being McVay, just like, Aaron, have a seat, bro. Listen, you can't do this, dude.
Fucking hit him with your helmet, motherfucker.
Man, what you did was you fucked up this guy, and we can't have that. But week 1, you're in there, nose tackle, baby. Let's go.
Like, why? If the NFL leaves it up to a team, why would the team ever suspend one of their own players?
Deshaun Watson,
right? Deshaun Watson case, maybe even the punt god guy. Like the Bills had to do something before it got to the NFL's desk. They were like, fuck it, you're out.
Shouldn't have tried to block
that's
him,
crazy.
Bro. Shouldn't have tried to block him.
Yeah, don't try to block Aaron Donald, you stupid ass. That was your fault.
I actually have to prep videos, though. I got to go.
Yes, go do your thing. Hey, bro, thank you so much, Kyle, for coming on. We appreciate you, bro. Subscribe to his channel. Do the damn thing, Kyle. We'll see you later, buddy.
Yep. Have a good day, guys.
All right,
man. Go Pack, go. Win all day, baby.
All right, we're back. And so is NFL Live TV. So somebody is dropping some bombs in the chat right now. So thank you to the bots. That's when you know you've hit a peak algorithm for the day, is when the bots come in and they start, at least this isn't like free sex bots. It's at least telling you like this is the way to watch NFL TV because they caught on to what we're talking about.
You click the link and then it's
Will Greer released, Dave. Well, that means it's Cooper Rush season, baby, because Ben DiNucci, everybody's out. The Cowboys are just cutting everybody right now, and I don't understand. I have to catch up to all the text messages I've been getting. I'm talking to my boy Tony and Aiden right now as things develop. Remember, NFL teams have till 4 o'clock today to make some cuts, so maybe it's even better that we're going to preview pretty much the rest of the NFC West tomorrow because there's going to be a lot of cuts made. So that's actually kind of beneficial. But yeah, so that was that. That was a great conversation with Kyle, as always. Very good. One of our better shows, to be honest with you. I'm glad everybody's watched it. Hopefully liked the video. Do us a solid on that. Optimum decided to agree with us for the majority. I want to say 97% of the show was good. Yes, Danny, I saw the fucking Eagles trade. Jesus Christ, he's coming in like 3 times. Yo, you see that? We got a safety, dog. Like, that's good for you. Good for you. Keep trying to cover CeeDee Lamb this year, and we'll talk. Anyway,
Darius Slay season.
Jose Sisawama, Donald is the next door neighbor having roid rage. Yeah, definitely. He's gotta get him under wraps. You don't want him to kill anybody. And when you're swinging helmets like that, man, Jesus Christ, that's a lot. That's a lot. So anyway, we want to thank everybody for watching the show. We want to thank Kyle Kirms of the Sauce Network for coming on board. We want to, another appreciation towards his whole group. AJ over there, Toast, all the guys that contribute to his. Now Scoop is doing soccer picks, which I have no idea why that was even a thing. I have no idea why that was an employment. But hey, now Scoop's getting paid. So listen. Just leave it up to the Chop Sports Network and the Chop Sports Media to get you paid at your next job. Not so much right now, but your next job. We are the skipping stone of America. And we want to thank you guys for joining us. Big day ahead today. Got a couple of meetings going on. Got a big meeting tomorrow morning. But we'll be back here 11 o'clock for Sturch Gooch. Thank you to Kyle again. And Anthony, who's probably overwhelmed at this point. Like, he did. Are you all right over there, bro?
I don't even think he had to do. He did like one graphic.
You sure?
Yeah, I did like one graphic.
And then he just sat there.
I was like, damn, bro. I was like, it's like, there's a lot going on. So that was his first Sauce experience.
He couldn't even. Yeah, well, we'll talk.
What?
He didn't get the.
Well, when the internet kicks, it gets rid of whatever it feels like. So that's why you had to upload some more shit. Blah 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 blah. It was all a bunch of nonsense. That's happened to us before. Like, I have like, hey, Rob, put up that graphic. Yeah, I ain't got the graphic. It's like, all right, forget it, Rob. Don't just calm the fuck down. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Again, Sturch, Gooch, and of course, Anthony. We will see you guys tomorrow right back here on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We got content like this all year long. It's NFL seasons right here. Now I'm brushed up on all my college football, so now I'm going to be a motherfucking expert at that stuff. And yeah, let's roll. So see you guys tomorrow.
Go Pack, go.